So yesterday we had got to the point where we had created pretty much a hole. So what I want to do now is to see, now that we sort of, finalized this design, we can actually work out the correct volume that this is going to be rather than from our rough draft, and check to see if we're still around that 2.3 million millimeters cubed that we need to be for this to float at the right sort of level in the water. So what we'll do is we'll bring back our waterline plane here. We'll do another intersect and we'll basically select all of those and our waterline plane, and we'll do an intersect and we'll end up with loads of regions. We won't merge it and we'll go for that. Bob, bob, bob. We can turn the waterline plane off now, and let's select the bits which are going to be underneath the water. Let's have a look. That bit. Yeah, there we go. That's all the bits that will be underneath the water. And now for the moment of truth. Have we shaved off a lot more or even a lot less than 15%? Because if it's a lot less and we're still up around that 2.5, 2.6 million millimeters cubed, then it's going to float too high in the water, which is also no good. We'll just get rid of that YouTube notification. So yeah, well, let's select them. That one, that one, that one, that one. Let's have a look at the volume. And it's 2.4 million, so it's a little bit more than the 2.3, but that's probably all right because that's not far away really. It's really kind of minuscule in terms of changing the dimensions of it. Just a millimeter here or there will radically change that, but it does mean that we can afford for the thing to weigh a little bit more, and for it to still sit where we want it in the water. So worst comes to worst, if it's still sitting too high out of the water, I'll only need to add a minimal amount of ballast overall to get it to be at the right waterline point. So that's good. I guess the next thing I want to do is to check kind of what weight this is going to be, because again we guesstimated the overall weight of the structure, and that's pretty important for our buoyancy calculations. So what I'm going to do is, what shall I do? I think I'll just undo that intersect actually, because we don't really need that for now. What have we got here? Let's have a look at our bodies. Right, so that one and that one I want to combine together because that's going to be a single piece, whereas these two floats are two separate pieces. And that will be the third piece in the center, but it's going to be one piece, not split like that. So let's combine those two. Add yes, fine. So now we've got that as a separate body, that whole center as a separate body, and that, which means that we can hollow these out and make them have a 3mm wall. So let's do that a minute. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to need to chop off, for reasons I won't bother explaining, this radius section at the front, because that's going to cause us problems when we try and hollow this out. So I'm going to chop that off a minute. Let's get rid of the hulls, those two, and let's make let's see, how should we do this? Let's have a look at it from the side. And we're going to need to create a plane to slice it off with. But to be able to make the plane, I'm going to need to create probably just one sketch. So let's sketch something in this. Yeah, that'll do. Let's sketch on here. Let's have a look at the normal too. We'll just make a construction line between this point here and this point here. That'll do. And now we can make our plane that we need. So our first reference is going to be this line across the top. Second reference will be, where has it gone? The sketch that we just did down there, and there you go. That gives us a nice slicing plane. We'll accept that. we shall now do what should we do? An intersect, I think, should be good. And we'll select this body here, intersect. We've now got two regions. We've got the region that we want to split off and the region where we want to split off the other way. No, definitely not merge. That's all done. Bloody blah. Let's turn off that plane. Let's turn off that sketch. Oh, turn off that plane, I said. And let's get rid of that bit, because that will be made out of a different material. So now, let's get back to it. Where were we? Let's turn the floats back on, like so. And now let's hollow this out. So we'll go for a shell, I think is probably the best way of doing this. Yeah, let's shell it. So yeah, I want a 3mm wall, and we'll basically just cut the top off for a minute to get there. That's all fine. So that one is now hollow with the 3mm wall. We'll do exactly the same for that one, and we'll do exactly the same for that one. So we now have our sort of, yeah, pretty much our hollow hull. This is pretty much dimensionally, physically, and most importantly in terms of density of material, about right, except there's no tops to it. To be really accurate, I guess I should add the tops back, but I'm not going to do that for now. So what I am going to do is specify a material, and we're going to say that it's made out of beech, like so. Which should, I mean, we're making it out of ply, but it's going to be more or less the same in terms of density, weight. So now we can select these three things, like so. Go back to our properties, mass properties, and we've got a weight of 803 grams, which actually is, we guessed, 1,000 grams for the whole structure. We've got a few things to add to this. Let's think. I did include the main weight bits on top, which is the engine support and the sort of ducting that's going to go around the engine. But we've got a few bits and pieces like, let me think. Well, we've got that little round bit to go on the front there. That'll be pretty light. So another 200 grams to play with. I think that actually, bizarrely, will work out very, very, very close to what I want. So this seems like a good place to stop today. That is looking a bit like a wooden boat.